Hello friends, this video is created by Siddharth Upadhyay, founder and creator of PrepWings. Log on to www.prepwings.com for complete free course videos. So in this video we'll talk about the strengthen question. Strengthen questions require the students to find the option that supports the argument presented. So what you need to do in a strengthen question is first find out the assumption in the argument, and then any option that makes the assumption to be true will be the correct answer option for a strengthen question. We have already seen the video titled assumption, in which we have covered how to find an assumption. So you can go through that assumption video about finding an assumption method. So for a strengthen question, what we have to do is first we find out the conclusion of the argument, then the premise. So conclusion and the premise will help us find the assumption of the argument, and then we look at the option that makes the assumption to be true. Now we look at an example here. The example says that a new type of fertilizer is highly effective against weeds that grow near maize plants grown in subtropical soil. A study conducted confirms the effectiveness of the fertilizer to destroy weeds near maize crops in subtropical soil. Thus, maize farmers across the globe should use this new fertilizer to destroy weeds. Now the question is, which of the following will strengthen the argument above? Option A says, weeds are unwanted plants which compete with the other plants for soil resources. Option B says, destroying weeds will enhance maize production per acre. Option C says, subtropical soil is highly suitable for many other crops. Option D says, maize is grown across the globe only on subtropical soil. And option E says, weeds are commonly present in crops grown in subtropical soil. So we have looked at the argument presented and the options here. Now, if we look at this argument, the conclusion of the argument is that the maize farmers across the globe should use the new fertilizer to destroy weeds. This is the main idea that is presented in the argument. And the premise, which is the reason for conclusion or the evidence for conclusion, is that a study shows the effectiveness of the fertilizer to destroy weeds near maize crops in subtropical soil. So now if you look at it closely, the premise or the reason is given for subtropical soil and the conclusion is drawn out for the entire globe. So the premise is made for subtropical soil and the conclusion is drawn for the entire globe. Thus, the assumption is that maize is grown only on subtropical soil across the globe. So this is the assumption that we get. Now we look at answer options, and if you look at option D says maize is grown across the globe only on subtropical soil. This makes our assumption to be true. That is why this is the correct answer option for our strengthen question. So this is how we find the answer for a strengthen question. So just to do a recap, first of all, what we do is we find the conclusion of the argument and the premise of the argument. That will help us to find the assumption of the argument. Once we have found the assumption of the argument, any option that makes the assumption to be true will strengthen the argument. So this is how the strengthen questions are solved. Thanks a lot for watching this video.